The story for The Witcher 2 actually takes place right after the first one, which I never played the first one, but it takes place right after it if you want to know. And in here, you play as Geralt of Rivia, who is a Witcher, the title character. And he is somewhat of a, let me just say this. He's a white-haired badass, and he is in task of protecting this king of some kingdom, and he's protecting this king, whatever, he's doing a good job, he's killing people, there's a war going on, whatever. And then out of nowhere, the king gets assassinated by this bald-headed guy, and you don't know who he is. He jumps out of a window, and then you are caught with the king's dead body, and of course you are framed for murder. But of course someone helps you escape because, I mean, come on, the game wouldn't be fun if all you were doing is sitting in a jail cell waiting to get killed. So you break out, and now you're tasked on finding out who this murderer, this assassin of kings is, why he's killing kings, and who set him up to do this. There's plenty more to explain about the story, but really you just have to experience it yourself. The story is so well written, with every story mission always having a great payoff. It really makes you want to just keep on going and see what will happen next in the story. What makes the story even better is how well fleshed out the characters are. Geralt is one of the coolest main characters that I have seen in quite some time, probably since Adam Jensen in Deus Ex Human Revolution. Other characters like Triss Merigold, who is a longtime friend of The Witcher, and Roach, who aids you on your quest to finding the Kingslayer, are all exceptionally memorable as well. Overall, this story is definitely worth your time. Don't just skip every dialogue section and stuff, because it's definitely worth your time. Also, there's plenty of choices to be made, so don't skip dialogue choices, because bad things could happen. With that being said, let's go on to the sound. Now let's talk about the sound. Witcher 2 has plenty of voice acting in the game. Luckily, most of it, if not all of it, is actually great. Geralt has that brooding and dark sound to him, which really makes him even more of a badass than he already is. The rest of the supporting cast does just as well, but I would really like to give big kudos to the writer of the dialogue, which always would throw in new things in from almost every dialogue section. The sound design is also very well done, with the sounds of meat and metal getting crushed by swords and the casting of magic sounding great as they should. The soundtrack is also damn good, with orchestras sounding in at the exact right moments during battles and cutscenes. Overall, the sound is also exceptional. Let's go and talk about the graphics. Now the graphics. Seeing that I played the game on the Xbox 360, the graphics definitely took a hit. Even though this is true, the graphics are still absolutely breathtaking at times in the game. Sure, there are a few texture load problems and the occasional awkward animation, but everything else in the game is absolutely beautiful. Some of the environments you will come across in the game are absolutely astonishing and a feast for the eyes. You'll see lush forest areas, populated villages, and amazing looking lakes. Now, some of the environments do head toward the obvious dungeons and ruins, but even these look damn good. Characters are also modeled very well, with every face and every piece of clothing that they wear having a distinct look to one another. I especially love the facial animations for most of the cast. It actually reminded me of that game Rage that came out last year, which had amazing facial animations, which I think this actually rivals. Overall, even though it doesn't look as good as the PC version, it still is a powerhouse of graphical beauty, and it's definitely a feast for the eyes, like I said earlier. Now, with that being said, let's go on to the gameplay. Now, the gameplay for The Witcher 2 is comprised of two main things: the sword and the magic combat, and a lot of dialogue heavy sections. The combat itself isn't too hard to explain. You have a block, dodge, light attack, heavy attack, and a magic attack, or for this game, a sign attack, because that's what they call magic in this game. The sword and the magic combat itself is a lot of fun and very challenging at times. Ever play a game where it's so easy that you never need to use the block or the dodge or a specific attack button? Well, this game is nothing like that, because you will need to use all of the abilities that the game gives you. This adds a lot more strategy to the combat, so it isn't all just mash A and mash X. Now, just like any other RPG out there, you'll level up, and when you level up, you can upgrade your character by, of course, making him stronger so he'll take more damage, or making his weapons stronger, or his magic stronger, or even his crafting and alchemy abilities, which, of course, let you make potions and other useless things that I never use. But you can also upgrade your weapons with different objects that you'll find throughout the game, and you can buy entirely new ones throughout many of the shops and traders that you'll come across to in the game. Now, some people will complain that the variety of weapons and magic is lacking, in comparison to other games like Skyrim or even Kingdoms of Amalur. But really, it's not a huge open world game as well. Each chapter, there's 3 chapters. Each chapter brings you to a new world, well, not world, land to explore, and each one isn't huge, so don't expect a huge open world, and also don't expect a huge variety of weapons as well. Now, with that being said, the next big part of the gameplay is the dialogue sections. These will test if you really pay attention at all, because a lot of the times you will be in charge of selecting a piece of dialogue to say, just like in Mass Effect 3. These choices you will make can really make a difference later on in the game, or right after you're done speaking to whoever you were speaking to. Sometimes you'll even have the chance to use one of your Witcher abilities and either intimidate someone into giving you information or tricking them into giving you information. The game is dialogue heavy, but luckily, like I said before, the dialogue is very well written, entertaining, and occasionally quite funny. Now, like I said before, the game is a RPG, so every time you visit a new village or a new town, you will be able to complete side quests. Unlike a lot of side quests in RPGs, these ones are actually really worth it because they're either really funny or really fun just to complete, or it actually comes into play in the story later on, which is really cool. Now, I would say if you skip all side quests, then the game itself is about 20 hours long, but if you do the side quests, they will easily extend this game for a few hours, definitely, maybe even several hours, and they are definitely worth it because a lot of these side quests are a lot of fun. Also, if you are watching this and you already played the original Witcher 2, there is a lot more stuff to play now. So go and download the free enhanced version right now on the PC and get back into the action because there's a lot more side quests and a lot more extra things for you to do. Let me just end this review by saying The Witcher 2 is a great game with a very interesting story, great characters, and a world well worth getting invested in. The combat is also refreshingly challenging, and the dialogue is very well written and very entertaining to listen to. I can't recommend The Witcher 2 enough, and is easily one of the best games that came out this year so far. Of course, for the 360, because PC, it's been out for a year, but still, we just got it, so it still counts. Anyway, definitely go check this game out. I hope you enjoyed the review. This game is absolutely fantastic. I can't wait for The Witcher 3 because, woo-wee, this game was awesome. So anyway, there you go. I hope you enjoyed the review. Thank you, and goodbye. Oh, and also there's nudity, 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 nudity.